Do you all have any difficulties or doubts you want me to this thing? Because today what we are going to do is there are four cases which I have shared. I think I don't know whether I shared on the group. I'll share the chart later on again. There are four cases and uska basic ABCD level ka we are going to see everything. So before that, do you have anything to ask? Otherwise, we can start. Nidhi,
Yeah. There, there were a few questions. Like, first of all, you had, at places you had given something like 10 by 10 and 6 by 6.
10 by
They
10.
didn't explain,
हाँ.
didn't they explain till, and I think it was the
10th from 10th, that is, not 10 by 10. 10th from 10th. So that is
at
7.
10.
So here I'll show you here. If this is 1, can you see the annotation? Manasi, this is the annotation? So if this is 1, this is your 10th house. Now if you take 10th as first, then this becomes the 12th to the 10th, 11th to the 10th, 10th to the 10th. So this basically is your 7th house. No? So 7th house we say, or let me put it this way, 10th house we say is for career, correct? Nidhi, 10th house we say is for career, right? This 10th house is for career. So 7th house is also Bhavat Bhavam, so that is also a reflection of the career. So you can see career from the 7th house also. That is 10th from 10. Now if you want 6th from 6th, basically 6th from 6th is 11. This is the 6th house, correct? From the 6th house, if you make 6th as 1, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is which house? This is the 11th house, no? From in the Kalpurush Kundi if you see. So 6th is what? 6th is Roh, Green, Ripu, litigation. So 11th also, even though it is Ichhapurti, can turn up as Roh, Green, Ripu, litigation. That is called Bhavat Bhavam. In that page of notes or nomenclature what you have written, udhar likho Bhavat Bhavam. Okay? And Manasi, you wanted to ask?
हां.
Nidhi, you are.
तर मी पहिलं सगळं विचारून घेते, मग सो यू कॅन आन्सर.
She was.
Colors are different for planets and for Rashis, whatever the colors are, there are
No,
different.
no, 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 same. They might be little Photoshop error here or there, but all those 9 planets, see the 9 planets, that's why I took that thing first. All of you, please pay attention. The 9 planets ka colors are going to get reflected everywhere in your Rashis, in your Nakshatras, in your Nakshatra, Navmanch, Pada, everything as we go on. So those 9 things are same. Little bit of color differentiation here or there, that is Photoshop issue. Especially brown, sometimes you'll see a dark brown and a light brown. Because 10 and 11 are together, it looks like one stretch of brown, that's why it slightly differentiate. But whenever you see brown, it is Saturn. When you see deep blue, it is Rahu. When you see purple, it is Ketu, that same thing.
तर पण व्हीनसला आपण सिल्वर एक दिलं होतं ना.
Yeah, but silver I cannot show here, no, that's why I made it into pink. That is what I said. Like even Ketu is tweed, but I cannot keep doing tweed over here, so I have made it a deep purple. So look at the color to ring a bell about which planet you are talking about. Because a planet is that module which will go throughout. It will come as a Rashi Lord, it will come as a Bhava, house Lord, it will come as a Nakshatra Lord, it will come as a Nakshatra Pada Lord, so many things, but that color. So whenever you see orange Patkarke, you should realize that I am talking about Jupiter. Like
आणि एकच भाव इज बेसिकली द स्वभाव ऑफ द प्लॅनेट्स जे
Bhav,
आपण हा भाव जे तुम्ही म्हणाला होता.
Bhav is the correct word for calling a house. House is a very short this thing way of calling that box. Bhav is what is the technical word. So when I say bhav, it is house. Okay. Manasi. Manasi.
I was just going to say, in some cases, just going by the chart you're sharing, you've got MO, KE, MA all big, and then you've got SA, VE in brackets. Sometimes the main planets in the houses are big, and then you have some in dark blue, small, tiny font in blue. So what's the? Yeah. What's
So
the?
in the nomenclature page, you write that whenever you see anything in a bracket, it is retrograde, oblique, vakri. Vakri is a Sanskrit word, but VAKRI, vakri. Retrograde, vakri. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Or we'll talk
Thanks.
about it now only. Vakri or retrograde is basically what? It is a misconception, but there's a huge dialogue over it. Retrograde or vakri means going ulta. Okay, so if you see Saturn, you would have heard if you listen to any of these videos and all that, अभी Saturn अभी वक्री मोड में है और वो Pisces से लेके Aquarius में आ रहा है और whatever, no, going opposite. में वक्री में what we are basically traveling this way, right? When you say vakri, some people consider it going that way, but that is not the case. A planet never goes back. If you understand the planet movement goes this way. Now the problem is, I'll tell you in very simple word, but others will become a big topic. If this is the sun, all the planets are going around it, right? But they are not going in a circle, they are going in an elliptical form. I am exaggerating for you to understand. They are going here. So when they are passing, let us say, when they are passing from here to here, they are very close to the sun. So it feels as if they are moving fast. But when they reach these extremities, it is as if they are slowing down, and at one point it might feel that it has totally stopped. So very simply, this zone which is there is where you feel that the planet is going slow. It is like saying that you are going at a station and a train goes by. Suddenly you feel that you are moving, but actually you are not moving, the train is moving. So when let's say Saturn is moving in this zone around the sun, it will feel as though it is going slow. So that is Vakri. But they say the planet goes ulta. It doesn't go ulta that way. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Shivaji wanted Dagda Rashi. Now Dagda Rashi. 1 minute. I'll have to share the chart here. दत्त राशि कौन से इसमें दिया था? One minute, Shivaji is asked about Dagda Rashi. I'll just show you that. Okay, I got it. Okay, can you see this chart now? I changed the chart. Can you see the new chart?
Yes.
This is a Dagda Rashi. So Dagda Rashi is also called as Tithi Shunya. Dagda basically means, you write down in the nomenclature page, Dagda equal to burnt, jala hua, burnt. If my volume goes down, one of you please tell me, because there is some stupid thing over here where my volume keeps going down that way. So just now I've hiked it up. Now my voice might be a little louder. If it starts getting bleak, tell me, I can hike it up over here. So Dagda basically, Shivaji, means burnt. Okay. When you say burnt Rashi, so basically, let us say if this house is Dagda, it means that this house will either not fructify in that person's life, or if it has to fructify, it will fructify with a lot of problems, or if that person does a lot of effort, that thing may fructify to some level. So Dagda Rashi basically means a Rashi which is not going to give him much benefit in his life. It is all based on the Tithi. The Tithi which you are born in, so here what you see is the Tithi. If anyone of you know what is Tithi, the 15 days of moon in the Shukla Paksha and 15 days Krishna Paksha. So when it goes from full moon to Grahan. So basically, there is a calculation. Now I don't want to get into that, but the thing is, Pratipad is the first Tithi, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, like that it goes on all the way to Amvasa and Purnima. So based on that, if a person is born in a specific Tithi, these two Rashis get Dagda. So for example, let us say somebody is born in Saptami. If a person is born in Saptami, the 4th Rashi, this fellow, and the 9th Rashi, this fellow, will get hit. Now, if we are looking at this as the ascendant, then his first house and his 6th house have got Dagda. So basically something related to the Karatattva of 1st house, which could maybe even mean his brain, it could mean his overall personality, it could mean his overall health. And 6th, again 6th also relates to rogue, it also relates to disputes. So maybe something related to this house and something related to this house will not fructify. That is Dagda Rashi. Shivaji, understood? Okay, anyone else has a question? Nomenclature used in transit planets. Okay. Manas had also asked that. So let us say, Shipra, 1 minute. Let us say I have written this. This is what you are asking, right? Sorry, by mistake it has come like this. Yes, Saturn. This is what you are saying. No, what does this mean? You are asking, right? Shivaji? Manas, you are asking the same thing, right? So basically, this
Yes.
is. Okay, let me put it in a better way. I have not yet taught you all this, that's why it might become a little confusing, but I'll tell you. Let us say at this point Saturn is seated, whichever, natal or whatever, it doesn't matter. So basically the nomenclature for this is Saturn is seated in the nakshatra of Bharani. Now you are not aware of what Bharani is ruled by, but by this color, can you tell me which it is? It is Venus, right? So Bharani is seated in the nakshatra of Venus. You understood? So this in the bracket, the nomenclature, this is my way of writing it. It is not the regular way, but in this you can tell a lot of things, because you realize in a little while, the planet gives the result of its nakshatra lord. That is one theorem which is used in Krishnamurti Paddhati also, which I have adapted over here. So when you say Saturn is in this, it says Saturn is in this nakshatra. Today, if the time permitting, I will explain to you all what this means. Maybe I don't need to memorize it, but at least you will understand what this means. End of the class, just remind me in case you all are still up to it, we will do that. Any other doubt?
No, one last quick one. The other, sometimes you've also mentioned degrees, like 20 degrees, but that's again nakshatra, I think.
So now that is one topic by itself. I'll have to.
Yeah.
This is 30 degrees. Each one is 3 degree 20 minutes. So like that calculation I'll have to tell you. That I'll tell you at the end of the class. Shipra, you had raised your hand.
Okay.
Unmute. You're on mute.
Yeah.
You raised your hand, no?
No, actually, I just wondering about the Dagda Rashti only, the Pratipada, and over there how in which this thing they are, that would be, we can find out from the software only, or any other way?
In the software, no? Later on I'll show you how to see the software basically. So in that software I'll show you later on. This would be given.
Okay.
The nakshatra, the tithi will be given.
Okay.
So based on which tithi, then you can put this.
Okay.
All okay? Chalo, let's start today's class. Okay, now what I wanted to do is, now we are going baby steps one by one, because from this point onwards, I hope, keeping my fingers crossed, that we start slowly analyzing charts and become practical in nature. Okay, so slow and steady. If you don't understand, don't feel shy, just ask, because at this point, if you don't clear your doubt, it will just keep on mounting up all the time. Now this is a case of one lady. Okay, you can ask me any questions if you want. Within limits, I will give you the answer to that. This is her second marriage. Her first marriage was very turbulent and it ended up in a divorce and all that. Second one, got married to a guy, but it is again back on the rocks like that. So now tell me. So basically, first one I'll give you all the hints, but I want to give the answer. Ascendant is in which Rashi? This is house 1. This is Rashi. Manasi.
Saturn.
Rashi. Number.
Oh, sorry. Rashi's R10.
Correct. Okay. Now, where is Saturn seated? Anyone, just raise your hands. Don't. So Saturn is seated here, fourth house. Correct.
Yeah.
House of marriage is seventh house. Correct. Seventh lord is कौन है seventh lord? Moon.
Moon.
Moon is seated in the 12th to itself. What does it tell you? I told you what is 12th mean.
Depleted.
No, not depleted. I told you if something goes to the 12th, something happens, something goes to the second, something happens.
House of loss.
Loss, in the sense there is a retardation or there is some loss of that. But 12th is loss, second is gain.
I think that's what I was meaning by depleted.
Depleted is different. Depleted is weak. Exalted and debilitated, not even depleted. Achha, you mean depleted? Okay, okay. It is a loss,
Yeah.
basically. Correct. That is correct. So when it goes to the 12th house, it is depleted or there is a loss. And second, if you remember, I had said that it is addition to family. So there
Enhanced.
is enhancement. Correct. So if we say this moon here, now pay attention. I am going to stuff which is a little deep, but if you understand, it's very simple. It has gone one back, but 8 minus हो गया. Now this ascendant has gone and sat in the fourth house. What is fourth house? What stan?
House.
Superstar.
Comforts.
Sukhastan.
Sukhastan. Shivaji, I can't hear you. What did you say? House comfort.
Home comforts. Yeah. Home comforts.
Yeah. So for fourth house, I don't know whether I told you last time also, it is also the home comforts or home atmosphere, you can see.
तुमचा आवाज कमी
So this lady, the ascendant lord, has gone in the side.
Dada, एक minute. Somebody's got their like somebody needs to go on mute.
Okay. So basically, this person has gone and sat in the fourth house. So what does it say? That this person likes home atmosphere to be a sukhastan. So is this girl a turbulent girl or she is a home loving person? Home loving person. Okay. Seventh house talks about marriage and seventh lord talks about the owner of that house. Who's the owner of the house for this seventh house? Her husband, correct? The husband has gone and sat in the 12th to the 7th house. Meaning he has gone and sat in the house of anti-marriage. Correct? Now if you see the relation between this one and this one, 1, 2, 3. The husband is seated in the third from the girl. Correct? Third, if you remember, I told you last time, 8 by 8. 8th from the 8th. This is the 8th house for her. Sorry. This is the 8th house for her. Correct? From the 8th.
Yeah.
Sorry. We are actually looking from here, 8. So basically from here, this is the 8th house for this house, no? For this house. So from here, the 8th from 8th is the third for this one. Is there a bouncer guy?
No.
1 minute, I will come.
Taza, just one question. Like, say now you say something to do with a marriage. Going back to basics, probably a silly question, but where do we typically, is there any starting point? Like, typically you look at something first. Now, because it's marriage, do we just start with seventh spouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically now we are looking at a relation between this and this. So it is 1, 2, 3. So the husband is seated third from her. There is some reason why I can't change the color here. I don't know why, but this is the girl, right? And this is the guy. This is the man. Are you understanding this or not understanding this?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Manasi, wait. Baki ka, anyone not understanding this? I'll do it again. This is, I just call it the female, okay? The one whose chart we are looking at. This is the house of marriage, and the Lord basically represents the husband. Till this point, all clear? You all can just do this if you want. Just do a thumbs up with that hand, haath se. This fellow has gone and sat over here, which is the 6th house. If you remember, you look up your notes, it is the house of anti-marriage because it is the 12th to the 7th. So far, all good. This person, the girl, has gone and sat here, which is the 4th house of home atmosphere. Now, what is the correlation between her and the first husband? It is 1, this is 2, this is 3. 3, if you remember in this thing, I told you it is communication. If you have read your notes, I told you 3 is communication. This house is also ruled by Mercury, which is also a karak of communication. Now, basically, 3rd house is the 8th from the 8th, I told you some time back. So it is also Bhavat Bhavam. If you remember, I told you 10th from 10th, 6th from 6th. So basically 4th from 4th. So 8th from 8th is again the 3rd house. So it is a Bhavat Bhavam of obstacles. All okay so far? So basically her relation with the first husband is immediately showing something related to obstacles. Now to add to it, if you remember the 159, Rahu is also hitting this fellow. Rahu is hitting the 7th lord of marriage. Saturn has got a 3, 7, 10 hit. Saturn is also hitting this fellow. Saturn happens to be the 2nd lord. What is the 2nd and 7th lord saying? Chitrang, 1 minute. 2nd is what? Marak Sthan. For this one, who is the Badak? Mars is the Badak. Mars has gone and sat here, which is the 3rd to the marriage, which is the obstacle to the marriage.
Also 9th house for the ascendant, no sir?
Huh?
9th house for the ascendant. Mars is sitting at 9th house of the ascendant.
9th house from the ascendant, but it is 3rd house from the Lagnaka house. Now you, like what Manasi was saying, you make this as 1 now and take everything. Now because we are talking about marriage, so keep this as a base point and then see everything from there. Chitrang, you're saying something. Where is Chitrang?
हाँ सर सर सैटर्न रेट्रोग्रेड है ना तो 10th dynasty will be on the marriage 7th house sir.
No, that is what. No, there is one big ambiguity over there. Some the Paddhati say that it will move in this way, but that's what I said
Right.
at the start of it. It actually doesn't go there. It goes this way. So, like in Bhrigunati Paddhati, they will consider this. In Bhrigunati Paddhati, they will consider this that it will go ulta.
Barabar.
Parashari, it will consider like this. So, frankly speaking, I give both of them a benefit of doubt because both of them are something great. We are nobody over there. So depending on the situation, I adapt it, and that is what is giving me result. So if
Okay.
ulta karo, you do it ulta. Saturn is connecting with Rahu, like what you're saying.
Yeah, 3rd
How
dynasty.
are 9th drishtis on this fellow?
And 10th dynasty 7 marriage पे आएगा 7th पे आएगा.
किसका?
अगर रेट्रोग्रेड गिनेंगे तो 10th dynasty आ जाएगा उसका 7th house पे. हाँ
So मुझे किधर भी देखो, it comes to the same thing.
मार तो आ ही रहा है. हाँ
Did you understand what he's saying?
No, that went a bit.
I'll tell you.
Outside.
Basically, if you just look at this Saturn has a 3, 7, 10 drishti. I hope you have by-hearted that. So actually speaking, the 3rd drishti should come here. But just now I told you that this means Vakri and it goes ulta. So there is a Paddhati called Bhrigunandi Paddhati, which Chitrang was saying, where it will go ulta. So the 3rd hit will be on this and the 10th hit will be on this. Can you calculate that? If this is 1, this is ulta जा रहा है तो ये 2 हो गया, ये 3 हो गया, ये 12 हो गया, ये 11 हो गया, 10 हो गया. So the 10th drishti is here and the 3rd drishti is here. Are you understanding? This is one way of looking at it by Bhrigunandi Paddhati, but Parashari doesn't consider this Vakri as going ulta. So just now what we saw is it was hitting this house where Rahu is seated and Rahu was giving the 9th aspect onto that moon anyways. But if you go by Parashari method, from here the 3rd hit is on the 7th lord and the 10th drishti is on the ascendant. So Saturn is hitting, basically the second lord is hitting the ascendant also and hitting here. Now the thing is, any planet will never harm its own Rashi. So in one way, this lady is safe, but a marriage is in problem. Bouncer जा रहा है क्या अब तक? Do you want me to go one step slower?
Sir, can you hear me?
What? There's too much of noise. I can't hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, but there's a lot of disturbance. Okay, tell quickly, Kai.
Sir, yeah, the 8th from 8th ते कळलं नाही बाकी सर was
But just now I told you, if this is your ascendant, this is 1, let us say, this is 7 and you crank it, this becomes 8. No? Now, if you consider 8th house as first house, it will go here, crank and go here. This will become 8th from 8th. No? But it is the first, second and third house. No? So the third house becomes the 8th from the 8th. That is what I told in the first class only. That from thing you have to get it very fast. If I show you this house and I tell you which is the 5th, immediately that khekda should go there. If I ask you 9, that equal L should go there. If I say 6, it should go and crank up over here. If I say 12, it should go here. So that from thing is a very, very important thing because everything will decide. Now let's just do one more thing. Abhi iska marriage hai. If I want to see the bhagya of this marriage, I need to see the 9th from here. So 9th from here is this ulta khekda. Now this ulta khekda, if you see, is basically, even though of course Rahu goes this way and this fellow is going this way, it's called, in a way, it's the pap kartari bolte. It's like a scissors. Kartari means katri sort of a thing. So it is seated between two malefics. You want to do it there's another Brigunanti Paddhati which is called progression bolte usko. This Saturn, if you consider Vakri, it is going to come and hit this fellow. So let's not get into that is little advanced here. But basically, if you want to know the Bhagya of this one, the Bhagya of this one is this one, which is ruled by what? Jupiter. Jupiter is here. Jupiter has got Saturn hitting it. Rahu, 5th aspect. Getting it? So like that it can go on so many things. Now let's take one at a time only. Just forget whatever we have done so far. Just tell me, ye house ke liye, which is the Badak and which is the Badak Lord. Put your hands up, don't answer out of turn. Which is the Badak and which is the Badak? Those people who know everything are only picking up. Baki ka people, you are not done your homework. Chalo Shivaji, tell me. You're mute, unmute karo.
It is a movable sign. So Badak is the 9th Rasi, that is Sagittarius. No, sorry, Vrishchika. Vrishchika Rasi is the Badak. And the Lord is Mars. Mars is the Badak
So
in this
this
case.
is the Badak house, correct? And
Yes.
Badak Lord is
Mars.
correct? Anyone
Yes.
all okay with that? If you remember, I told you 7, uske pehle 9, uske pehle 11. So 11th from here is this house. So this house becomes the Badak house. A Badak house ka Lord is who? It is seated here. So Mars का कारक क्या है? Is it in any way related to marriage? You read your notes. I have given you Mars is also कारक of marriage.
Yes.
Remember, especially for a girl, Mars is bad. Now every paddhati you will have different things. Like in some paddhati, which like VP Goel and all follow, they say Jupiter is the karak of marriage for everything. Now there is no end to it. Whatever has worked for me, I am telling you. So Mars is basically considered the karak of marriage, and Mercury is considered the karak of engagement. So if you are looking at, suppose somebody's engagement, wo ho raha hai ki nahi ho raha hai, when you transit and Prashna, I'll tell you that. Mercury is basically what is the third lord, right? Third and sixth lord. So third is what? Third is documentation. It is some sort of an agreement. So when we talk of engagement, it becomes Mercury. Mars basically becomes the karak of marriage. Venus, because it is a natural 7th lord, can also be considered as marriage. Rashmi Puja ho gaya? Rashmi Puja ho gaya? Your puja is done? Yeah, okay. All of you getting what I'm saying? So, if you see in this girl's case, the Badak house is Mars and it is seated in the 9th house of Bhagya. So, there is something in her Bhagya which is a convener of Badak, obstacles. Now, somebody tell me, raise your hands, don't answer out of turn, which is the Marak house and which are the Marakesh? Chitran, you all are all Shipra. Shipra, unmute now.
Yeah. So Marak is second house, which is Aquarius, and the Lord is Saturn, and seventh house, which is Moon. The Lord is Moon, fourth Rashi.
Okay.
Sir, somehow ये नहीं मुझे समझा.
Chitrang, sorry, Chitrang and Ashwini get the last option. If nobody else can answer, then they will get, because they are pretty high in this. So, Pawan. Pawan, unmute. Chitrang, Rona.
Just wanted to clarify, Manish ji, Marak and Karak is the same thing, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Question stops there. Thank you.
Did I by mistake say Karak? I said Marak.
No, you mentioned Marak, but I thought Marak and Karak is same.
Karak is 159 ka lord.
That is Karak, right?
Karak. So if I'm talking of Karak, let us say, it will be 1, it will be 5, and it will be 9.
Correct.
So here, if you see, this is going to be Saturn, this is going to be Venus, and this is going to be Mercury.
So, sir, the Karak is fruitful, or it is like Badak or Marak? Matlab, see, we know Badak, which will create problem, Marak, which is like Mrityu Tulya, and this Karak will facilitate or will be a burden?
Auspicious. It is good.
Auspicious.
But see, I always give an example like this. Let us say you have got a Ferrari car or some very fast car. So you expect to go at, let us say, 200 kilometers per hour. But let us say your tire pressure is less. So you're going at 150. तो तुका कार्बोरेटर में कचरा है 100 और कुछ तो भी पेट्रोल में डीजल डाल दिया है 50. So it is basically, just because you have got a Ferrari car doesn't mean that you will always be able to go at 200. That if you understand that, you will understand this. So every time you say it is a Karak planet or Karak Graha, don't presume that, oh wow, it's fantastic, because you have to see the other hits also. At the same time, suppose it is a Ferrari which is capable of going 200, and you give a fantastic, like a runway as a road. So I am saying 200 might go to 220. On top of that, if you say the wind is coming from behind me, it might go to 240. I don't know whether it goes that far, but I'm just saying. So it is that planet, it is first of all at a datum it is good. If it is getting pulled down by something, then uska positivity kam ho jata hai aur negative nahi banta hai. Okay, now to answer Rashmi, you had asked the question. ये जो ascendant है ना, from here that 159 or 27 will come into play. So when the ascendant is here, let me make it easy. Yours and Manasi's ascendant is over here. This is the ascendant house for you and Manasi. So if I want to see the Karak houses, 1, 5, 9 will be the Karak. So here basically it will say Mars, this will say Sun, and this will say Jupiter are the Karak lords. Now if you see the Badak is the 2nd and the 7th house from the ascendant. So in your cases, both places, Venus becomes the Marak. Okay.
So that's Prabal Marak.
Prabal Marak, Venus. The husbands are the Prabal Marak.
So can I ask something? Say in my case, so 5th house is my Karak, okay, because mine is Kalpurush. Now if I have Saturn and Rahu over there, so will they become like Karak in a positive way? But then at the same time, 5th का जो Rashi Lord है, वो है Sun, and Sun is not very comfortable with Saturn and Rahu. So will it be an right?
कारक ग्रह रहता है, कारक भाव नहीं है. So कारक ग्रह is sun. तो सन
Okay.
किधर भी बैठने दो, इट डजंट मैटर, बट सन के घर में these two malefics are there जो उसको ग्रहण करते हैं. I told you last time, you remember, Rahu does full grahan of sun, Saturn also does full grahan of sun, because Saturn is night, sun is morning. So basically your Ferrari has got a little less tire pressure and it has got little less, let's say, carburetor or whatever.
And now going by the same thing, you said that 7th house is like, will be the Badhak, right? A Marak. Now in my case it has Venus. Venus Swarashi mein hai, so it is like, it is strong over there. But then again, will it become Marak?
Yeah, because it is, whenever it is a Karak, it is sort of exempted from the Marak quality. But if it is ये मार्ग, in fact in your case this and this second and seventh are both Venus, so it becomes Prabal Mark, a strong Mark. Now I'll give you a remedy for this also, which at least Rashmi is doing unknowingly that way. Venus is the Karak, if you remember, of glamour. Venus is the Karak of residential flat, if you have read your notes. Rashmi is an interior designer who is mainly into doing up residential flats, which is obviously equal to glamour. So that Venus का जो कारक है, that gets exchanged. You remember last time did I talk to you about that season ball? That is the secret of astrology. जरा mute करना, somebody is on. ये season ball का ये seam है, left hand side has got thorns over there, right hand side is smooth over here. So when you rub the planet this side, it is going to hurt you. From this side, it is going to give you good. So Venus from this side for Rashmi is basically a Marak, so it can give her trouble. But she is rubbing the planet this way by doing another Karak of Venus, which is interiors. So she is safe that way. Okay, so we got, for this planet, we got this as the Badhak and this as the Badhak Lord. We got this as the Marak and this as the Marak, with this as the Marak Lord and this as the Marak Lord. Now tell me, just look at the Marak Lord. Of course, Marak is not directly connected with this sort of a event, but can you see that the native and the husband are both Marak over here? Now, frankly speaking, Marak is not used in this way. Marak is used for Jeev Karak. So this is not the right way, but I'm just something which I observed over here. So first of all, you need to get the Karak, Marak and Badhak Grahas written by the side. Okay. Anything else you all want to see on this chart to tell me, otherwise we can go to the next chart. Anything else you want to see over here? Or you want to, okay, sorry, the second marriage ka kya hai? Can somebody tell me how, now I have told you just now only that her second marriage is also all shaken up. Where can you see that happening over here? I have marked it over there, you don't need to count. Can somebody, Dinky, you tell me which is the house of second marriage, can you tell me? If marriage is 7.
Over here it's gone and seated on the 9th one.
If this is the house of first, I told you anything second is ek chhod ke ek.
Third.
Correct? Third nahi raja, this is 9th house. Third from the 7th is the 9th house. That's what you're saying, is it?
Yeah, I mean it's the 9th house, but it is position 3. I mean.
Third from the 7th. See, always
yeah.
remember, if this is 1, no? एक छोड़ के एक आगे is the next succeeding thing, whatever it may be. ये करके एक छोड़ के एक is the preceding thing. So if this is me, this is my younger sibling, this is my elder sibling. If this is my marriage, this is my first marriage. There cannot be a earlier marriage. वो पिछले जन्म का रहेगा शायद, I don't know that. But if this is marriage, this is the person's first marriage. This is the person's second marriage, correct? एक एक छोड़ के. So in this case, if this is the marriage, एक छोड़ के एक is the second marriage for the girl. All agreed?
Yeah.
Now, what is Mars? Shivaji just told you what Mars is. What is Mars in this case?
Marrakesh.
Huh?
Badhaka.
Badhakesh. Shikra, what happened?
And retro Venus is in second house.
Huh?
Retro Venus is in second house along with the 12th Lord.
Retro Venus is here along with the 12th
12th
lord.
Lord. Yeah.
Okay.
That is second house to ninth house.
Second house to this marriage has got, but this is a Karak Graha. And
But
this
it was retrograde, no sir.
No, so many. Okay, I'll come to that. Chitra, you want to say something?
No, I just so Badak Greh is in the second marriage house.
Correct.
Also, the marriage house lord is with the 8th lord or the 12th to it.
Wait. Where is Mercury?
Sun.
This
Sun
is with
is
the 8th lord.
Sun is the 8th lord as well as it is 12th to 9th. So which means it
12th
will
to 9th, why are you saying? Acha, you're saying, okay, 12 to 9 by 12 to the second marriage, you're saying.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And it is seated in the third from the second house. May the agreement of the second house may uska hi 12th lord better. But I'll explain to others. It might be a little heavy for everyone. Just she's given a very good point. Rashmi, give me 2 minutes. Basically, I hope all of you agree that this is the second marriage ka house. All agreement in that. Here, like Shivaji said, the Badak is seated over there. Correct? All of you understood? The Badak, it's the 11th over there. Now, you consider this as house number 1 because now we are looking everything related to second house. इसके second में म्हणजे addition to family, who is seated? Jupiter, who is the natural 3rd and 12th lord in this chart. Now you have to go back and you have to keep jumping back and forth. So it's the natural 3rd and 12th lord. 3rd we know is obstacles, 12 we know is loss. Now I am giving you one more pin over here. 12th is also foreign. This girl is settled abroad. The husband is also settled abroad. They are both citizens of US. So in a way, does this loss suddenly become less because the Karak Tattva from the left hand side of the season ball has gone to the right hand side of the season ball? So will there be a loss of the second marriage? No. But 3 is basically 8 from 8, which is obstacle. Will there be obstacles in the second marriage? 3 is also the Karak of communication, I told you. Mercury, 3rd lord, natural, communication. So can we say that in her second marriage there will not be a divorce, but there will be a lack of communication with the spouse? Correct? Now, what ये sun का किसने बोला था? Shipra said, okay. Now this is a fantastic this thing, which I hope you understand. If we consider this as 1, this is obviously the 12th house. This from is a very interesting thing. If you can get the hang of from, you will get a lot of inferences. This is the 12th from the second marriage. इसका lord कौन है? Sun. Sun कहाँ जाके बैठा है? In the 3rd from this, 11th from this, and in the Badak Stan, along with the lord of the 9th lord. I'll repeat. The 12th lord Sun has gone and sat here, correct? What is this here? It is the 3rd from the second marriage ka house. It is the 11th from the main chart ascendant, and it is also the Badak house. To add on to it, the 9th lord of second marriage is also seated with it. 11th is what? Ichha Purti. Badak is what? Badak. 3rd is what? Communication. 12th is what? Loss. And 9th marriage. Do you understand? Second marriage is seated in the Badak. So the Ichha Purti mein Badha aa gaya. Everyone would want to have at least some rapport with the spouse. वो बाधा आ गया because 3rd and 11th. Ichhapurti related to communication seated in the house of Badak. So Ichhapurti related to communication with the second husband has obstacles. You understand how to decode this? It is a little tough at the beginning, but this video now we are at around 45 minutes. So the last, let's say from 30 minutes to 45 minutes of the video, when you get it, if you just see it once or twice, you'll understand. That is why on day one, I have been specifying that from is very important. From is very important. Chitran.
Yes, sir. So also one more thing, the way we did last time, the first lord and the second marriage lord are at Shadashta.
Very good. This is the first lord, means the native, and this is the ninth lord. ऐसा देखो तो ये sixth है, ऐसा देखो तो ये eighth है. This is called Shadashtak. I hope you have written this down. Shadashtak. Have you written in the nomenclature? Shadashtak is equal to 6, 8.
No.
Sixth is what? Sixth is dispute. 8 is obstacle. So it is like if two of us are in Shadashtak, we are always quarreling. So Rashmi, what do you want to ask?
Can you repeat?
1 minute. Nidhi, 1 minute. But 1 minute. Rashmi, wait. Shadashtak. Shadashtak is 6, 8. Somebody is on. Rashmi is on mute currently. Suppose we are looking at two planets. This, which is the first lord, and this. Sorry, stupid. This, which is the ninth lord, correct? Nidhi. So ninth lord is second marriage, first lord is the native herself. From here, I told you, if I have to see the relation between these two, I go 7 and I crank back. What is that? 6th. From here to here, if I go 7th and I crank ahead. This is what? 8th. So are both of them in 6, 8 combination to each other. That is called Shadashtak. Shadashtak means simple word this, at logarithms. Rashmi?
Sir, my take will be like this कि second marriage के house में Mars है. Mars in a way is the opposite. Like we say the Venus, the opposite is Mars. It is in the 6th Rashi of Mercury. So if the communication is proper, then this can work. This will be my take.
You are right in a way, but tell me one thing. All of you can answer this. Mute out of this. What did I write about 6th and what did I write about Mars, which is common? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody raise their hand and I'll answer? There is something which is common between 6th and Mars. Rashmi?
Sir, it is the short term, like, 6th is about the short term loss. And Mars is efforts, no?
Manasi?
Is it marriage and anti-marriage stuff?
That's what I'm talking of Karak. Dinky?
Disputes and
Mars also Senapati, dispute and fight, I said, Kachak.
yeah, arguments and
I said 6th is the house of rogue, rin, ripu, and litigation / disputes. And Mars, I told you, was a Senapati, and I said Mars was cut. So basically, what Rashmi was saying is right, but I will add on to it. 6th, this, and iska lord kaun hai Rashmi? Mercury. So 6th is what? Dispute. Mars is what? Marriage. And Mercury is what? Communication. Seated in the 9th house of second marriage. So disputes in the communication related to second marriage. वो कारक तत्व, Rashmi, I think you are asking about a कारक तत्व change, that season wala thing. I am not getting into it just now. All of you understand one thing. एक clear cut इधर दिमाग पे लिख लो. Unless it is some जिसको दैवी शक्ति बोलते, which I am not aware of, you can change your destiny by rubbing the season ball the other side. Simple as that. Most of the cases which I have managed to analyze and solve are done by this simple method, which frankly speaking I don't think is in any book, but this is what has just come and that's what I'm sharing with you. I will share that technique a little later, but But just now, just understand one thing. Whatever problem is there can be solved. Simple. Have that confidence and go ahead, and half your work is done there. Any other issues? So be a second marriage. Now, have you understood how we see this? We can move to the next case. इसको बहुत सारा चूरमा बना दिया. All done? Should I go to the next one? Okay. Can you see this now? Okay. This case basically is of a person. He had a business of okay, let's not get into all the detail. He is going through a lot of litigations right now, legal cases. एक फटके में क्या दिखता है? When I say leave, just now I think one of you had asked me, Manas had only asked me, what do I see? See, there are एक clear cut पहले ध्यान में रहो. Forget this just now. Astrology can be seen from two things. The second one can be a third also. One is what is called as predictive astrology, and one is called as a remedial astrology, and the third one is called preventive astrology. First, predictive astrology is what 99% of the astrologers do. मेरी शादी कब होगी, मेरे बच्चे कब होंगे, this, that, everything. Okay, I don't get into that because I leave that for the other 99% people to do, because उसमें you don't need any guts. If I tell you 5 साल बाद शादी होगी, 5 साल में where you are and where I am, nobody knows. So I don't believe in giving something there. Remedial astrology is now and now. This problem is happening to me now. Why is it happening? That needs guts. And preventive is I am getting into a dasha. What do I expect over here? So let's just keep that to the side. But if we have to see something happening just now, that is called remedial astrology. So we are looking at so when a case comes, nobody comes to me and keeps a case in front and tell me about me. Bolo, I tell them go away. I'll talk about that later. But just now to answer Manas's question also, if this person has come to me and says that he is going through a major litigation cases which is messing up his life, which house should I see? Somebody raise your hands, don't answer. Dinky. Is that a 6? Okay, I understood. I thought you were writing your physics.
No, I was trying to say 6th house.
Good girl. Nidhi 6, बराबर? Okay. So your nazar should fat karke go to 6th house and kon. There are two things which you have to see. No, actually there are 3 things.
And the Rashi Lord.
6th house, 6th lord, and if there is a specific karak for the karak tattva of that thing, litigation. So in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the thing of rogue, rin, ripu and litigation? Rashmi, unmute karo.
So 6th na?
No, who's the planet?
Mercury.
Mercury, correct? So basically I have got the 6th house because 6th house is of rogue, rin, ripu, litigation. 6th lord kone hai? Jupiter. So I have to catch this guy also. Correct? And I have to catch Mercury also, because Mercury could also tell me something, because it is the natural 6th lord. Always remember, natural 6th lord is very important. Nidhi, have you raised your hand or your answer? You're done with the. You have a question?
So
I have a question.
Hey, 1 minute, Nidhi.
So Mercury, it's
Natural 6th lord, na? Kal Purush. Natural 6th lord कौन है?
okay.
Dinky.
I thought natural 6th Lord is Mars.
नहीं राजा. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 कौन है? Mercury ना? Moon and sun. You forgot that? 6th number पे कौन सा green color है? See your basic chart.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I've switched the two. Mercury and
Yes. Kundalini, where we say that 1 to 12, what we said, where this is the ascendant. This is called as the Kalpurush Kundalini. That is the base template. So if you are relating to the house, you should also relate to this also and see. Like just now we are saying 6th. Abhi iska 6th house idhar hai. Dinky, see this. Yes, 6th house idhar hai. But the natural 6th house is where the village astrologers use this. This is the 6th house. Iska natural lord कौन है? Mercury. So he has that department of being able to tell you something about it. Huh? So now, if you see the 6th house and the 6th lord is seated in which house from the ascendant? ऐसा गिनने का नहीं, Rashmi. From here you go and here, you're cranking to the right.
Eighth.
8th, correct?
In the 8th position.
What does it tell you? 6th lord in 8th house. Simple. Now start getting that lingo properly. Lord of litigation seated in the house of obstacles.
Means double power to the problems.
हाँ, मुझे basically it is saying that गब्बर सिंह ने जाके ओसामा बिन लादेन के गोदी में जाके घर में जाके बैठे हैं, बराबर? Now at this point, in different पद्धति, different teachers teach different things. They say negative become positive. ऐसा नहीं होता है. I don't think so. If Osama bin Laden goes and sits along with Gabbar Singh, दोनों मिलके positive भजन नहीं करेंगे. They will create a bigger explosion, ना? So I don't believe in that. So I just relate 6, I relate 8, and when 6 and 8 are together, it is whatever happens. बराबर? Now, if we are seeing this, I had told you that there are 3 ways in which a house gets activated. One is the dasha. Now I am giving you a background clue. His Rahu dasha is on. So this one is on. Second one I had told you, Gochar, planet ka transit. This is the transiting Rahu over here. And third is self-induced, khud hi kiya hai. So let's not get into that. He has made a mess by himself, but I don't want to get into that. Now, that first point which Manasi had asked, if you remember this, Nakshatra Lord, a planet is always in one of the 27 nakshatras. Point blank at this point, there are 27 nakshatras from Ashwini to Revati. I'll teach you that in some time. A planet will always be seated in some nakshatra. You cannot say a planet is not no nakshatra. Oh, hai, uska nakshatra. It will always give the result of that nakshatra. That's a Krishnamurti Paddhati method. So if he is seated in Mars, does he become the 2nd lord and the 7th lord? Does Mars also tell you jhagda? Barabar? So basically the 6th lord of litigation is seated in the nakshatra of Mars, which by itself talks about disputes and fights and all those things. From the 6th house, that's why that from is a very important thing. It has gone and sat in the 3rd from the 6th. 3rd is what? Documentation. He has made a mess in some documentation. 3rd is also the obstacles. Okay. So the house of litigation, seated on a horse, ghoda, of obstacles, has gone and sat in the house of major obstacles, 8th house. Can you really understand that? On top of that, Rahu, which is the champion of disruption, causing a mess of things, is seated there in a natal chart, and his dasha is on, Mahadasha is on. To add on to that problem, the transiting Rahu has come. The blue is always, remember in my this thing, blue means transit. वो आके उधर बैठा है. Correct? Now I will give you one more thing, which is a little heavy, but एक ध्यान में रखो. Okay, let's not get into that. It will be too much. Now इसके साथ कौन बैठा है? Mars बैठा है, which is again dispute. So when this fellow is on, obviously these two are also on. If you say that 5 people are seated in the house and the house is on fire and one fellow gets a little chatka on his bum, do you think other fellows are going to sit there and play cards? They are also affected, no? So whenever a house is affected, the populated people are also affected. Now, can we very easily say that Saturn, Rahu and Mars are active at this moment in the 6th house? If you remember, I told you Lal Kitab theorem, Saturn, Rahu and Mars are called as Papi Graho Ki Toli. If you want, write it. If you have not written, write it in the nomenclature. Saturn, Mars, Rahu. Saturn, Mars and Rahu are basically, it is also an accident yoga, because Saturn and Rahu both relate to accident, and Saturn and Mars relate to accident, and Rahu is something which is unusual. So it is a very, by the way, एकदम suddenly आ रहा है, in the 6th house, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the 6th house, right? Akal Mrityu. As the significators come, I'll keep sharing. I don't have all of them by heart either. So if when we do Jamakola,
Dada, what is Akal Mrityu? Sorry,
Akal
translation.
is unnatural death or untimely death. That doesn't mean that this fellow died because he is going through the litigation, so he is safe. Rogue, Rin, Ripu.
The 8th house will be notified as death, right?
8th is actually longevity. 7th and 2nd are the 12th to the longevity, that's why it is Marak.
What was that last point again?
8th is longevity, 8th from 8th, 3rd is also longevity. The 12th to both of them is the Marak, which is the 2nd and the 7th, which I'll explain. 8th house is longevity, 8th from 8th is the 3rd house is longevity. Longevity is life. उसको मारने वाला कौन है? 2nd. उसके मारने वाला कौन है? 7th. That's why 2nd and 7th are considered as Marak. Have you understood this? I think we'll do only 2 cases today because we already collapse, I think, after this.
So can I say something like इस chart को बहुत easily I would have seen like this कि okay, it's the 6th house already, it is a trouble वाली जगह है, not a very comfortable one. वहाँ पर Saturn, Rahu and Mars है, and Mars is again the nakshatra lord as well, which is 3rd to it. So in a way, something which is Saturn will delay, Mars is your efforts, and Rahu is like in a way, again trouble. So anything, it is all your efforts are getting delayed to solve the issue.
That is correct, but what you're saying is correct, but the thing is, in simple words, what you're saying is, ये जो पापी ग्रहों की टोली है, वो यहाँ आके बैठी है, उसके ऊपर whenever a planet comes on top of a planet, no, it multiplies that effect, good or bad. Remember that. A planet के ऊपर a transiting planet comes, it multiplies the effect. It compounds the effect. So like what Rashmi is saying, the पापी ग्रहों की टोली is seated in the 6th house. But does that mean all his life he will be going through litigation? No. This dasha started, on top of that this fellow came into play, same one on top of the other. So that is point number 1. Second point, so first point was the dasha started. Second point was the transit planet came into action. And third thing is he himself did a lot of mess. So all 3, that's why I've taken this example, all 3 went for a toss. Shipra?
Sometimes we see that if it a malefic planet is sitting in a kind of a like 6th, 8th or 12th position, it actually strengthens that area rather than harming it. So how do we differentiate?
Yeah, correct, very correct. So it strengthens which house? Let's talk about 6th. A malefic planet seated in the 6th house will strengthen the 6th house. Barabar? So 6th house is what? Rogue, Rin, Ripu, na? So it's like saying that Osama bin Laden का एक fortress है, उसमें आके गब्बर सिंह आके बैठा है. He is going to strengthen that fort. Instead of shooting from one gun, they'll shoot from 2 guns now.
हाँ, so then अगर किसी ने जैसे litigation या कुछ किया है, so shouldn't this guy have more strength in fighting him off?
No, his house of litigation has got more and more Gabbar Singhs coming and sitting over there. He has to fight with them. See, I'll tell you one, what you're saying I have totally understood. There are many teachers who teach like this. Frankly speaking, I don't say anyone is right or wrong. What they say is negative house may a malefic comes and sits, so that malefic will squash the negativity of this house. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm saying is that can he get more strength from the good planet would have trouble doing bad things like अगर किसी से fighting करनी है, then you need a fighting planet to be able to fight with somebody else.
No, but no. But to fight a bad house, you need a good person, no? How can you tell Gabbar Singh to go and fight with Osama bin Laden? You can tell, let's say, Indian Army ka some fellow to go and hit him, no? So if I have to send, see, I understand what you're saying because that is a very confusing thing which teacher, oh, everybody, एक ध्यान में रखो everyone. As you go along, no, you will find a lot of contradictory things. One fellow saying go left, one fellow will say right. As long as you reach the end goal, ना काम से मतलब रखो because there is a huge amount of disparity in the कारक तत्व, in the techniques, in the sub techniques, in the micro level techniques वो सब है. So what Shipra is saying is what some people say that negative के ऊपर negative आ गया तो वो positive हो गया. म्हणजे negative house के ऊपर a बाधक planet comes and sits or something, he squashes that. What I have experienced is that again I say it's a house of Osama bin Laden. उधर आके गब्बर सिंह बैठ गया तो that house has become stronger as long as they are not inimical towards each other. Chitra.
Sir. Sir, just to add to what Shipra was saying, what I have read is two things. One is if there is a debilitated planet in the sixth house, it will be good because rather than having malefic, some planet which is debilitated will reduce the effects in that house. And second, 1, 4, 7, and 10 are considered to be Kendras. So if a malefic is in Kendra, it will give you the strength to fight because 1 is your strength in that sense. So rather than being that planet in the negative house, it will add to the negativity. But if it is in your Kendra, it will add to your actions.
That is fine. Now the thing is to answer your first question. If a Vakri planet is seated in the negative house, let's say sixth house, barabar? So Vakri planet, like I told you, there are lots of debates over there. What I know of Vakri planet is a planet which, let's say, slows down or something. So I feel it gives it more strength rather than weakening it. Now there is a big dilemma whether Vakri planet becomes weak or Vakri planet becomes strong. I feel Vakri planet becomes strong because it is slowing down in calculation purpose. Forget this thing. So basically when something slows down, you have the bandwidth to attack different things. Let us say there is a situation and you're going like a headless chicken here or there, you will not hit anything right. But you slow down, you can see the target. That is one. The four, that Kendra house which you're doing 1, 4, 7, 10 which you're saying, that basically these are some very generic concepts which frankly speaking I have stopped following. Because of 1, 4, now again if that Vakri planet was a negative planet, it was a 6th, 8th, 12th lord, or it was some malefic planet, or it was sitting in a malefic house, then that Vakri planet every year becomes more tough, na? And
Sir, Vakri नहीं, debilitated बोला, Vakri नहीं sir.
Okay, debilitated planet. So I thought you were saying Vakri planet. So if a debilitated planet is seated in the 6th house, so it will do good, you're saying, is it?
Yeah, they say in Kali Yuga it forms a yoga.
That I don't know, but basically मेरा एक simple understanding है that debilitated planet which is there, if it is a Karak planet, it is not able to do good over there. If it is a Marak planet and seated debilitated over there, maybe he will not do that much bad. Now it is like saying Osama bin Laden में Gabbar Singh आ गया, but he's got a fractured hand. So करके कम करेगा, something like that. These topics, few of these topics are heavily debatable because every paddhati has got different. If you see Lal Kitab, they don't consider Rashi only. They don't consider house. जो house number 1 है वही उसका house number 1 हो गया. Rashi like that. So कुछ अलग. Somebody had raised the hand by Mr. Nidhi had raised the. Who had raised? नहीं, somebody had. Okay, ठीक है. So where were we now? So have you understood so far how to see that from? So if you want sort of a protocol, okay, always जो issue है उसका house पकड़ लो, उसका house lord पकड़ लो और उसका basic कारक planet पकड़ लो. Are you getting? And the things will start opening up over there. 2 cases enough or you want one more case? Drain ho gaya?
So we're only so far looking at the problem, but not the cause, right? Like as in, yeah, the person has told us that I'm having litigation problems, and when we look at the chart, we can go, oh yeah, I can see why you're having a litigation problem. But what is causing that litigation problem per se, we've not
Okay, let me
yet reached that.
advance.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
But anyway, to answer your question, tell me, if I'm facing a problem, which house will I look at? Which is the house of obstacle for me? So if this fellow is the guy, which house will cause an obstacle for him? 8th house, correct? 8th house may Venus. No? So basically, if something is causing an obstacle to the 6th house of this, which will I see? This house, which is again Venus. So there is basically Venus. This would have been very heavy, that's why I'm not taking. Venus seated in the 5th house is the cause of it. Now, if you want, I will go deeper. I don't know how much you'll understand. This is the 11th house of friend circle. Venus and Venus, just now we saw, were the obstacles not only to him but also to the 6th house. Venus is seated in the 12th to the 6th house, and it is basically hitting or connecting to the 11th house of friend circle. Venus
Seventh aspect.
Seventh aspect. Venus is also Karak of money. Sun is also the 7th from that lord. This is Sun, correct? Mercury is the 12th lord of loss and labadi. Here, basically, the 6th lord is also seated here. This is, by the way, this is a transiting fellow. The 6th lord is seated here, correct? And the 10th lord is seated here. This fellow made a mess of all the things with his friend circle related to professional listing. Now this most of you might not have understood, but that's why I don't want to go that deep. So if you go like that, you can go very deep and find out where he made the mess. So to tell you simply, from this house, the 8th house, from this house, the 8th house is this, which is Venus. Barabar? For the ascendant, the 8th house is this, which is again Venus. So his basically obstacle to himself, and the 6th house is seated here in the 5th house. Yahan se 7th house, where it gets the energy from, is ruled by Sun, which is seated here. It is seated with the 12th lord of loss. This is the 11th house of friend circle. This is the 10th lord of career. This is the 6th lord of litigation. Now you join all the beads together, you'll realize that he had a problem with his friend related to his career, related to money, which all boils down to the litigation. Now, I didn't want to go this deep because you'll not understand. Sankalp?
Sir, I wanted to ask whether like 6th house is getting activated, right?
Your voice
so 6th house is getting activated, right? So I was thinking whether then like 6th house also concerns about close relatives. So that like I thought maybe close relatives also had some sort of role in that problem, basically.
That's what I'm saying. No, there are 300, 400 Karak.
Okay.
It is competition wins also.
Yes.
Close this thing also. There can be so much. Now, if you want to go further, basically, if you see this is the mother. This is the mother's younger sister. No, mother's younger sister could also have something in that. I mean, like that, then you can do. So you have to pick and choose. You cannot take everything from. Then he will get confused. He will start doubting. अरे मेरे मासी ने क्या किया करके तो मासी की तो रही नहीं पिक्चर में. Shivaji, I'll tell you. This one Nidhi had asked, right? It came raised hand. Okay. So Shivaji is asking what is the remedy. Remedy, frankly speaking, this is that remedy which I told you. That is how I use it. But I don't want to take up remedy now because remedy ka one total topic only I want to take. But in simple words, changing the karak of the damaging planet is the thing. Is one way. Second way is moving the planet to a place Like for example, just now let us say we are talking of Venus, correct? Now is Venus in his chart a positive fellow or a negative fellow? It is a Karak, no? Venus is the Karak Graha for him. Barabar? He is a Karak and he is also the 8th Lord. So actually speaking, he is not a bad guy. It is a Ferrari with a deflated tire and a choked up carburetor. So Venus is a positive thing in his case. Should we strengthen him or should we weaken him? That is the secret. So if we want to strengthen him, we will put Venus over here, which is the 12th Rashi. If we feel we need to weaken him, we will put Venus over here, which is the 6th Rashi. Why? Because here it is debilitated, here it is exalted. So there is one way in which you move the planet and activate him there. So now you will ask me, what is activation? So activation is, Venus is what? Venus is something which is very glamorous. Venus, by the way, it's a very important way to do this thing. Venus is a branded perfume. Write in your Venus ke Karak Tattva mein, branded perfume. Because Venus is also the second lord, which is the face where the nose
Manishi, why do you use branded perfume? Why not perfume?
Because Venus per se is glamour.
Luxury.
Cobra brand ka perfume only I and you will use, but बाकी का Gucci, or Dinky Dinky, they will use all these high flying things. हम लोग 150 रुपए के में खुश है, उनको 15,000 का लगता है, like that. बराबर ना Dinky? हंस रही है. Now what happens, Shivaji? How can we move planets as per our choice? It is not moving of the planet. We are nobody to move the planet. We are activating the planet in that house. So I'll tell you. Suppose let us say you want to activate Venus. Let's make it simple. This is your ascendant, pakado, and you want to activate Venus here. Okay. Now I am asking you, and you will yourself give me the answer. Let's talk about body parts just now, because I don't want to go on the rashis of the house just now on the hand. That will be a little complicated. This third, I'm giving you the total secret of remedy over here. On your body part, ये कौन सा part है? हाँ, Rashmi. हाँ, aeroplane. Correct. Venus, just now I told you is what? Karak, branded perfume. If you spray somewhere here on your neck area or wherever on your shoulder or somewhere on your hand or something like that, are we activating Venus in the third house? Third house. If this is the ascendant, this is the third house. Fortunate is the third Rashi also. I'll explain with a different ascendant also. Let me explain different. ये ascendant है. And let us say we want to activate, for whatever reason, we want to activate Venus over here. ये कौन सा राशि है? 10th राशि. 10th राशि body part is what?
Sats.
Huh?
Knees.
Knees, correct. So if that person sprays a branded perfume on his knee, this is called hit theory actually. This is Astro Vastu theory. Like I told you, I have put 10 different paddhati in one. This is Astro Vastu paddhati, where you are voluntary with a sankalp in your mind. That also I had written in the group. Sankalp is very important when you do. You say every day I put perfume on my knees. I don't know who does it, but anyway, somebody will say I put every day perfume. But if you don't do it with that sankalp and that irada, the remedy doesn't work. So with that intention, you just spray a perfume, branded perfume on your knees. You are activating Venus in the 4th house, 10th Rashi. So Rashi will tell you the body part. Now this I was doing initially for quite a few years. Rashmi and Chitrang and all, they know the thing. Then I realized if you have to, let us say, if you have to spray here, you will have to spray branded perfume on your bum. अभी right in the middle of the office, कौन उधर चड्डी नीचे करके उधर spray करने वाला है? We cannot do that. So that is the time I started researching on, and then I got all those rashis over here. So if you want to know, if you see, this is my left hand, okay? ये उल्टा दिख रहा है, but this is my left hand. 1, 2, 3. Leave the middle finger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the 12 rashis. This again came to me suddenly like a brainwave. Then I did little research and I found that in palmistry this is what is there. In the Shastra also it is there. So then if I have to put Venus on the 10th, So 10th is this one, 10th, 11th, 12th. So 10th is ke upar I will put a silver color ka dot. Now here that silver and white which Nidhi was getting confused. Here I will put that dot color which I had given you earlier. Venus ka color kaun sa hai? Silver. So silver nail polish or silver something like that, you put it over here. You are activating Venus in the 10th house. Now one step further from there, all the 27 nakshatras are here. Starting from Ashwini over here, Bharani, Kritika, Mrigashira, all of them come out like this over here. You want to go ekdam deep level, you can do that. But frankly speaking, this is like a penicillin shot. Fat karke karo, it gives that immediate result. So you can do it on the fingers. So you understood? So basically, if you have to activate this, we activate. There are three ways. One is activating this. Second is keeping an item of Venus in that direction. Now when I teach you the direction north, south, east, west, now in the cardinal and sub-cardinal direction you realize. So maybe you'll keep a, Venus is also, by the way, art, painting. I think I told you last time, painting. So you can keep a painting in that zone. Okay. Or the third thing is, if you want Venus in the 10th house, what is Venus? Venus is, let us say, some lady. 10th is what? Career. Maybe there is some lady in your office जिसके ऊपर तुम बहुत तकलीफ दे रहे हो. So you are rubbing Venus the wrong way in 10th, which is your office. Be nice to her. Don't be over nice. Just be nice to her. And then that Venus ka negativity will change to positivity. So these are the three ways in which at least I use the remedies. One is the finger thing which gives immediate results. Second is moving an object and placing it over there, stapit karna. And third one is voluntarily readjust the Karak Tattva of the planets and do it. One minute, pehle iska tha, Dinky asked. There are 2-3 in line, I'll just ask you. Dinky, chalo pucho.
I just want to know, if only on the fingers these different positions are considered, not on the thumb, or not even on the main palm?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so nothing comes on the main palm or on the thumb?
That I told you, when you take nakshatra level, it will come, but that is very deep. That's very deep.
Okay.
So, in fact, I also don't use it very often. Very, very rarely, in very rare cases, I use it. Mostly, ye kaam kar jata hai. So, the secret of it is where to move it. You can't just take it anywhere and put it over there. Like, for example, in this case, suppose I put Venus over here. You're putting it in the same house with all the these fellows, no? All the danger fellows.
Yeah.
So usko kha denge. Correct. If I put Venus over here, this Mars and Saturn will surely hit it.
Yeah.
If I put Venus over here, Saturn will hit it. If I put Venus over here, Mars will hit it. If I put Venus over here, Rahu will hit it. So that's why I didn't want to take it just now. It's a big ball game. So when you start doing remedy, you know the methodology. But you have to keep thoda tick-tock, and then it will click one time. Next one, Nidhi. Nidhi, you had a question? Achha, your hand is raised. Okay, Rashmi.
So, sir, like you said, Venus ka, you were giving the example of Venus only, and in the case of this person, wherein the Saturn, Mars, and Rahu are there, and we realize that the problem is because of the friend circle from whom he have borrowed money or something, because Moon in a way is money as well. Okay, so
Moon
if
is
we
money, Moon is also fraudulent, labadi.
Yeah. So in a way, if we want to, like, in a way, Venus, through Venus, like, giving perfumes to his friends, will that help?
How will that help? You're taking Venus and putting it here like that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So in a way, sir,
Spray perfume on your friends.
Gifting them, like, it's a very naive question, but in a way, like, we understood the problem. Like you explained that the problem is there. What are the causes for the problem? That also we tried to this thing. So those who have created the problem, and Venus in a way is Lakshmi, so it is related to money eventually. So if you are trying to okay, the ones who have created the problem, gifting things which are related to Venus to them, that is Lakshmi to them, will that help?
Yeah, actually, what you're saying is this is the 11th lord of friend circle who has caused the problem, and 8th lord is Venus perfume. So obstacle को friend के ऊपर spray करो तो the friend will get into trouble. ऐसा हो जाएगा वो. तो मुझे बेसिकली क्या वो लिटिगेशन चल ही रहा है, ये इसको भी गटर में डाल दिया फ्रेंड को, ऐसा हो जाएगा. नहीं नहीं, डेंजरस रेमेडी है बाबा. डोंट स्टार्ट डूइंग रेमेडी बिफोर आई टीच यू द एंटायर मेथोडोलॉजी. नहीं तो वो दैट कोर्ट के द लॉयर, द ओपोनेंट, द सब चपरासी, सब लोग गटर में निकालो 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 करके, ये इधर ही बैठा है, मेरे केस का क्या हो रहा है. Don't know. That's why remedy na Shivaji, I was telling you, I'll take it up as one different subject. Just now, please don't do remedies on your friends. नहीं तो इधर तो बेचारे you might find them.
Sir, can we suggest chanting the planet mantra some X number of times as a remedy?
So there is a yantra, that is the fourth thing which I didn't want to tell just now, but the fourth thing which I use is a yantra and a mantra. So let us say, for example, Venus is giving you a problem. Om Kram Krim Krom Namah Shukraya Namah, that is the basic, the mantra for that, Bij mantra. And there is a yantra for it, which I'll teach you later on. So using that yantra, using the mantra and reciting it, you are praying to that planet to say that, please don't trouble me or help me out, like that. So there are various methods of, I use around 4 to 5 different methods of remedy. Depending on the magnitude of that problem, you decide. Now, one important thing over here is, this fellow, what is this? Is a transiting planet. Correct? So, you have Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha, Sukshma Dasha, Deha Dasha, Prana Dasha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is possibly for a day or a couple of hours. This is for a couple of days. This is for a couple of weeks. This is for a couple of months. This is for a couple of years. And this is for a full length of the thing. Now, if somebody comes to you and says that मुझे सर्दी हुआ है, just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which planet will you catch? Rashmi?
It will be 5, no?
Correct. It could be 5 because it is so many days. 6 if it is just here. Okay, and it tells you, let's for discussion sake say today is the 1st. And उसने बोला मुझे कल से सर्दी है. And your 6th fellow is saying आज के दिन का सुबह 10 बजे से रात को 10 बजे. Will you catch that planet? No. You will catch this fellow. Now somebody says that पिछले 5 साल से मेरे घुटने में दर्द है. And let's say the dasha is of 10 years. Moon का dasha, let us say. Which planet will you catch? Somebody else tell me, not Rashmi. Can somebody tell me? He's got a घुटने का दर्द. हाँ Shishir.
1, no?
1 is possible, but which will pinpoint it? 1 is a big span. उससे छोटा वाला, because 10 years. Now 5 years से दुख रही से, and the span is of this of 10 years. So it will be this fellow most probably, or this fellow, right? So the basic secret, the basic technique behind this is that depending on the magnitude of the issue, the timeline of the issue, you correlate it with which dasha could have started out. Most of the time you will see that this dasha starts off and the problem has started. This with little bit of experience you will get it, but the protocol what you see is first you have identified this. The minute this fellow, in this case only I know because he is a good friend of mine, when his Mahadasha of Rahu started, all his problems started. Because Rahu activated that entire ball game.
So can you repeat that dasha, because I just know about the Mahadasha and the Antardasha.
Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha, Sukshma Dasha, Deha Dasha and Pran Dasha.
एक मिनिट. महादशा, अंतर्दशा, प्रति अंतर्दशा आणि पुढे
सूक्ष्म, देह, प्राण.
Dada, I had a question, and it is little bit in the remedy section on similar lines to Rashmi. So I know we don't want to talk of remedy, but you specifically told us branded perfume, right? But say we didn't know that, you hadn't told us, but we think of Venus as luxury, glamour, and all that. Would it, and we've already agreed that it's the aeroplane, so would it work if I wore a diamond necklace, which is luxury, glamour? Okay. Yeah.
Understood? और कुछ पूछना है? Then we'll wrap up here because I have got 2 more cases, but I don't think I will last out. Do you want me to talk about Nakshatra just now, or do you want me to do it next time? Next time? हाँ.
Next time.
Every time next time करते. मुझे my उद्देश्य is basically to train you all so fast that you can start acting now. तो बाद में करते उसको थोड़ा टाइम जरा मरने को रुको प्लीज. बाद में मरना मेरे को पहले जरा मेरा जरा स्टडी करने दो. And here there is no option of कि वो मैंने क्या बोलते हैं उसका ऑप्शनल क्वेश्चन में वो मैंने टॉपिक में नहीं लिया था because any sort of case come. So later on I will keep sharing with you all live cases and you all can analyze it at your end. Cherry is also irritated. So okay, anyway, so this video I'll post it in some time. Go through it. These cases also I'm putting up. You all analyze it. And one thing like I had written on the group, just seeing it and doing it does not help at the initial stages, at the initial stage. Draw the chart out. Draw the chart out. Make your arrows and notations and spoil it. So what I used to do and which I still do, I draw the chart ka lines in a sketch pen. I write the names in a ball pen and I do baki notations in pencil. So even if you, because the mistakes you will make are in the notations, right? The chart, the lines hopefully you will not change. The planet position also hopefully will not change. So you don't need to erase them. But baki ka lines and arrows and highlights and all that what you do, you can change, right? Cherry also wants to talk. He's telling me enough over here. Okay, done? Should we wrap up? Chalo, bye-bye.
Thanks, Ada.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.